Welcome to the FASS Motorsports Brain Dump Series. I'm Jake, your host, and somehow they put me in charge of teaching things. I don't know why I'm sitting here, but here I am. Today we're talking about the 5 do's and don'ts of going to your first truck show. Now, we're going to talk specifically about truck shows today. However, the principles that we're going to talk about today could be applied to probably just about any automotive-related event. Drifting, drag racing, classic cars, you name it. This is probably some pretty good advice. For a little bit of background, I have been going to car shows for about 20 years at this point. 5 or 6 years professionally. I go to 6 to 12 shows a year, if not more, and that's not counting the local stuff, the Cars and Coffee, which if you haven't gone to Cars and Coffee, you're missing out. I'm telling you, it's a great show, great time. These are the 5 do's and don'ts of going to your first truck show. Number 1, above all else, please heed my warning, arrive early.
Party's not for an hour, so
right, the party's not for an hour.
Could you, I don't know, kill time for an hour and come back?
The thing is, by the time I got home, it's gonna be time to come back. It doesn't even make any sense.
You don't need to go home, you could just not stay here.
Now, a lot of these shows these days, they're self-contained, so there's burnout contests at night.
I don't even know if the judges are gonna be able to see anything over there.
There's drag racing at night. There's all kinds of daytime activities into nighttime activities, which can mean a 12, 14, 15-hour day, but you still want to arrive early, and this is why, especially with the bigger shows. They might have parking for everyone, but if you're the last to get there, if you get there at noon or 3 in the afternoon or 5 o'clock at night, you could be facing, and I've seen it happen, a 2-3 mile hike to get into the venue. And I tell you what, if I had to walk 3 miles to get anywhere, I'm not gonna be enjoying it as much as I might have otherwise.
I'm tired, boss.
We always recommend arriving to any show, any event, as early as possible. Yes, it can make for kind of a marathon day, but heck, if you're traveling hundreds or even thousands of miles to be at a show, why not just get up early and just get there? It is worth taking the extra time off, believe me. As a part of that, this is important, please listen to me. If you're going to an event that is 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's typical of most truck shows, please plan to be there Friday or at least Saturday. Sunday portions of a show are often, they're the awards, they're the finale, it's the end of the show. Now, it's still worth going. If you're in the area, absolutely go to the Sunday portion, but most shows will peak on Saturday. Friday, people are still getting off work, still driving, still traveling. Saturday is gonna be your peak. Sunday will be your finale. So I always recommend, if you're gonna spend the time and money to go to a truck show, arrive early in terms of getting to the event on the right day. And then once you're there, get there as soon as the gates open. You will thank me.
Open the gate. Go back down the main stairs. Open the gate right now.
Now for a don't. And this is a big pet peeve. Ask anybody who owns a truck. Don't touch vehicles that aren't yours.
Well, you've got a sweet ride there.
Don't touch it. Don't even look at it. Go on, get out. You heard me. Don't look at me either.
And it sounds silly, but you would be shocked. I have seen multiple 6-figure builds with scratches and dings and dents because people were touching them and rubbing their belt buckle on the side or their rivets on their jeans because, well, they wanted the picture for Instagram, and that's awesome. And there's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself and taking pictures. But remember, if you wouldn't want somebody rubbing up or touching your vehicle in the Walmart parking lot, why would somebody who's spent tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to build a very special vehicle want strangers touching and rubbing up against it? These are, at a truck show, these are show pieces. These are show vehicles with often thousands of hours of labor and detailing and polishing to get them perfect. So take pictures, enjoy yourself, interact, talk to the owners. Please, don't touch vehicles. Most owners will be pretty nice about it. Some of them won't.
I'm gonna hit you in 5 seconds.
Take it easy, my friend.
I'm gonna hit you in 5 seconds.
Mimi, call the cops.
Strongly recommend do not ever, if you can avoid it, touch a vehicle that's not yours. Just in general, but especially at a show.
No touching! No touching! No touching! No touching!
Number 3, and this was actually suggested by Mitch, the guy videoing. He's behind the camera, you can't see him. Maybe we'll put a picture of him like right here. This is Mitch. Are you cool with that, Mitch?
Yeah.
All right, this is Mitch. All right, right? here. Mitch, he's good. We like him. Good job, Mitch. Mitch made the suggestion, and this is absolutely true. If and when you meet somebody that you follow on social media, YouTube, whatever, at a show, because a lot of the shows that you will go to they're going to attract the big content creators, the big names in whatever industry, whatever thing you're into. You will probably see somebody that you're a fan of. Don't be afraid to go talk to them. Remember, these guys are all just normal people that happen to be on the internet, so don't be afraid, don't be weird, don't feel like you need to fumble over your words or come off super goofy. Just enjoy it. These are just normal people. This is... I've been very lucky to meet dozens and dozens of people that I followed for years before I got into the industry. Every single one of them, every single one, was just a normal person that happened to get a lot of attention on the internet. So number 3 on our list of a thing to do is go talk to them. Approach the people that you want to meet, that you want to get autographs from. 9 times out of 10, they're going to appreciate that you're a fan. It's going to be great to meet them. Don't be weird. Don't feel like you need to gush or fanboy. It's totally normal. Everyone that I've ever met in the automotive industry is just a normal person. So don't be afraid to go talk to them.
What are you doing using your big school words? Just use normal people words and I'll understand what you're talking about.
Number 4 on our list, and this is a don't, and this is a big don't. This is like right up there with touching somebody else's vehicle. If this is touching somebody else's vehicle, this one sits like right there. So the 4th on our list is please do not act a fool. I know it's tempting, there's a lot of horsepower and cool trucks and your friends and everyone's into the same thing, it's super awesome. But when you arrive or leave or you're hanging out, skip the burnouts unless you're on the burnout pad. Skip the revving, skip the annoying stuff, and especially once you leave the show, please don't be a bad representation of the automotive community.
I sentence you to death! Please, no!
There have been more shows than I care to think about that get shut down. Not because the show did anything wrong, but because the people who went couldn't control themselves. At a lot of shows these days, there's drag racing, there's burnout pits. If you want to send it, most shows will give you the opportunity. What they won't do, what the police won't do, what the city that show is in won't do, is sit around idly while people take over a Walmart parking lot and destroy the town because they think it's fun. Please, please, please understand, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. There are consequences to when people arrive to a town for a show, destroy the place, and leave. It's not something we can get away with anymore. I have seen my fair share of after-hours parties, go to an industrial park and take a few trips to Mexico.
You boys like Mexico? Yeah!
It used to be easier to get away with. I'm not saying it was right or moral. I'm just saying it was easier to get away with before smartphones. Now, everybody knows everything. So please, when you attend shows, and I know I sound like the old man, I know I sound boring, I get that, but I like this industry and I want it to be around for a while. Please be a good representative of the industry. You can't control what other people do, but you can control what you do.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
And last but certainly not least, on our 5 do's and don'ts of going to your first truck show, do bring supplies. If you haven't noticed, a lot of truck shows are held during the summer in the warm weather. Respecting the fact that you're probably gonna be out on a blacktop parking lot that's 120 degrees for 12 to 14 hours, prepare yourself, just be ready. It's not a major deal to bring some sunscreen, sunglasses, comfortable shoes, and a big jug of water. It's usually pretty easy to get all that stuff into a truck show, and you will enjoy it so much more if you don't feel like you're suffering 3 or 4 hours in preparing for the fact that if you're gonna be there all day, if you arrive early and then you wanna stay for the nighttime activities, it's kind of a marathon in a lot of cases. A really fun marathon, the only kind of marathon I wanna participate in, but truck shows can be a bit of a slog, especially when it's hot. It's totally worth it, you're gonna have a blast, but prepare. Those were our 5 do's and don'ts for going to your first truck show. If you think we missed something, which we almost certainly did, tell us in the comments. Tell us where we went off track or missed something, or what you have experienced going to truck shows, and maybe you'll give somebody better advice than we did. Until next time, I'm Jake with FASS Motorsports.